First of all, guys, I do apologize if you hear any sounds while I record this. And I'm going to do this quickly as possible because for those of you that are following me, you kind of know my circumstances, especially when it gets around past 6 o'clock on to 7 o'clock in the evening. So just thought I'd let you know if you hear any sounds, I'm recording this on my phone, and that basically indicates notifications, text, emails, you name it. But yeah, I'm going to do as quickly as I can because, again, for those of you that followed me for a long time, you kind of know the situation around this time frame. So yesterday, Disney decided to release the first full-on trailer for the remake of Lilo and Stitch. Now, I watched Lilo and Stitch originally in theaters, the original, I think it was the uncut version before they had to re-edit it and re-release it and all that. But I did watch it. I enjoyed it. I have the movie itself. I'm looking at it, right now. I'm looking at Lilo. I'm looking at the Blu-ray I have right now of Lilo and Stitch. I do have it. I think it's Lilo and Stitch and Lilo and Stitch 2, I think. Let me check. Lilo and Stitch. That's actually is it two movies? Two movie collection, though. It's a 3-disc edition. I think it's it's also Lilo and Stitch 2 as well. That's in there. As I try to shut it right now, I do apologize for any distraction there. But anyway, I do have Lilo and Stitch and, of course, the sequel, or one of the sequels anyway. And yesterday, like I said, Disney released the full-on trailer for the film, the live-action remake coming out in a few months. And a lot of people have been praising it, basically saying that it feels faithful to the original animated film, and that all the cast choices, even when they had to recast, all feel appropriate for the roles they're in. All feel like they could pass as live action versions of all the characters. I think Nani, Lilo, Danny. I think that's the guy's name, Danny. And so on, including the ice cream guy as well. They basically felt that they all fit the roles. And I watched the trailer and I thought, it was pretty good itself, especially if you got the same people behind it that were behind the original film, or at least some of the people like Chris Sanders behind it, who was behind the original film, basically, supporting this film and making it a reality as well. But the reason I bring this up is because usually a lot of fans are not too thrilled with live-action remakes. I mean, you take a look at how they feel about the easy for me to say, the Rachel Zellweger Snow White movie coming out in a few weeks. I think within a week. You take a look at what was, revealed by Lost Media Busters with the Powerpuff Girls. And I think basically with a lot of folks cheering on this live-action remake of Lilo and Stitch, actually enjoying what they saw, although the movie, is another story when it comes out, but it feels like it could remain faithful to what it is, or at least close to faithful. Basically, I think a lot of people are sending a message. And that message basically being that if you're going to do a live-action take, on a franchise, an animated franchise, or whatever the case may be, that nowadays, because times are different. In the past, like when Transformers happened in 2007, everybody was cool with it. They may have not enjoyed, the fact that it was just an explosion fun fest, if you will, popcorn fest, but people enjoyed it because that's what they've been waiting for. They've been waiting for that for a long time, and that's why they always went and saw the following sequels up to a certain point. But what I'm getting at, basically, is times have changed to where now people are like, if you're going to do a live-action remake on something or a live-action adaptation, you need to stay true to the source material. As we got further and further along with the Transformers movies, and you took Michael Bay out of the equation or added him in as assistant or whatever, they became more faithful in tone and even appearance of the characters, of what we knew from, when it came to G1. And, a lot of fans were cool with that. They were okay with that. That's why Bumblebee and even Rise of the Beast did pretty good, because they were being faithful to the source material, at least close to it. But when it came to these other ones, like Snow White with Rachel Zellweger, Zellweger, easy for me to say, and Gal Gadot. Gal Gadot, and so on. You know, people are not too thrilled with it, especially with what Rachel had been saying, and now Disney's got to do damage control and everything. They got to limit the premieres, basically, have certain premieres here in the States and in Los Angeles be self-contained. It's like, people look at that, and, at first it's like, they probably didn't have a problem with Snow White being remade, but when they heard what the premise was going to be, who was going to be in it, it's like, yeah, this ain't going to work. I mean, even before they cast Rachel in the role of Snow White, it's like they heard the premise and they're like, yeah, that ain't going to work. And then Rachel said what she did, and it's like, not good. So basically people, I look at it this way. They're okay if you do a live-action adaptation, a remake, or at least a live-action take, period, on something that was originally animated and everything, as long as you stay true, or at least close to true, to the source material. You don't stray away from it whatsoever. Nor do you cast somebody that basically is letting you know, by the way, that original classic movie that this is a remake adaptation of, that was weird. That was very stockish. And it's like, lady, if it wasn't for that movie, there wouldn't be no Walt Disney Company right now. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, you look at that, and then, again, you go to what Lost Media Busters discovered and everything. And it's like, you see the reaction there. Even before anything was even, screenshotted, basically, set pieces shown and everything, people were not for this, especially when it came to the premise that they heard. So to me, when I see people cheer on Lilo and Stitch, again, the movie's going to be another story. But it looks like, based on what we see with the trailer, it's going to stay faithful, or at least close to faithful, to the original source material. Especially, like I said, if you have the same people that worked behind the scenes on it working on this one, and they pretty much made sure that the casting choices, for the humans match up. It's like when you have people cheer for it, they're loving it. You have people like Clownfish TV and WDW Pro and others coming out and saying, yeah, this is going to make a lot of money. This is going to be bangers. This is going to be a banger, at the bank for Disney. Again, to me, that's like sending a message. That's sending a message that, yes, we know the Lilo and Stitch remake, or live action remake, is not going to be totally faithful, scene by scene, line for line when it comes to the original animated film. But as long as it carries a majority, or at least a strong portion of the essence of the original in it, then that's all that matters. And that's what fans, and to me, that's why fans are probably hoping it succeeds. Even if it's not true, scene by scene and all line by line, as long as it has that strong essence of the original within it, that's all that's going to matter to them. And to me, them cheering for it to succeed is sending a message to not only Disney itself because of Snow White, but to Warner Brothers and all them and all the other studios that, hey, you're going to do a live action take on all these characters. Stay true to what the source material is about. Stay true to who the characters are. This is why the Sonic films are doing so well. Yes, it's based in the live action world. Yes, you have Sonic interacting with humans and everything, but over time, especially with the third film, you're focusing more on the characters. And we can only imagine what the fourth film is going to be like, because how did you end the third film in the post-credits, in the mid-credit and post-credit scenes? How did you end it? You focused on Sonic. You focused on Sonic, you focused on Metal Sonic, you focused on Amy Rose. You focused on Shadow, getting his inhibitor ring. You stay faithful and more focused on the characters that fans want these movies to be centered around, basically you stay faithful to them, focus on them, and stay true to, what they're about. You're going to have blockbusters on your hands. There is no doubt. You're going to have massive blockbusters on your hands without a shadow of a doubt. And that is a true fact. That is a true, down-to-earth fact, and everybody knows it. Everybody knows it. This is why when, again, we were hearing about the Powerpuff series happening, the live-action CW take. It's like you hear the premise, you see the screen, you see the production pictures and everything, the set pieces, and it's like, no, this ain't Powerpuff Girls. This premise is not Powerpuff Girls. You take a look at Snow White. You hear what Rachel Zellweger said and everything. Not just politically, but her take on the original animated film, but this is based off of. And then you hear the premise for it, and it's like, yeah, that's not Snow White. That's not what this is about. And even Disney's pissed at her. Disney's pissed at her to the point that when she and Gal Gadot, who don't see eye to eye anymore, are not besties anymore, probably want to rip each other's throats out, were basically reluctantly walking together out on stage at the Oscars, and you hear instrumentally, Disney cue up, or the Oscars, the Oscar orchestra cue up, "Someday My Prince Will Come." A song that's not in the soundtrack for the quote unquote live action remake. It's not in there, but they queued it up. And why? Because that was Disney's way of getting back at Rachel and making her realize, lady, we chose you to be Snow White because we felt you could do the role justice. We didn't expect you to do what you did. To me, them doing that, queuing up that song, through the orchestra, was them sending a message to Rachel like, yeah, say what you want to say, but you read the script. You know what this is about. And it's like, is she kind of, because you got to wonder too, it's like Rachel kind of confused. Like, does she think it's enough? Does she think she's not in the snow? Does she not think she's promoting Snow White? Or that she filmed Snow White, that instead she had filmed something else? What did she think she was filming? Enchanted? Enchanted get this, Enchanted, yeah, it turned the idea on its head, but still stayed true to it. They still stay true to that Prince formula from Disney, even though they turned it upside down on their head. What I'm getting at here is that basically a lot of fans cheering for the Lilo and Stitch movie to succeed, even if it's not true, scene by scene, line for line to the original animated film, but has that strong essence, just like Sonic did, with his movies, for them to cheer on for its success and not for the success of Snow White, which is also coming out from Disney this year, within a week, I should say, that's telling. That is saying something. That is saying, yeah, Lilo and Stitch, that's what you should be doing. Snow White remake, that's not how you should be doing it. So to me, that's what's going on here. It's them sending a strong message to basically Disney, Warner Brothers, and any other studio out there that is, thinking about or has thought about or has made or, considering making live action takes on animated franchises or franchises entirely, that if you want to make it good, you want people to be on your side and supporting it, have it stay true to the source material. Have it obtain or keep or absorb a strong essence of what made the franchise and the characters involved, lovable and popular in the eyes of a lot of folks, and classics, if you will, classic, in the eyes of a lot of folks. Don't do something that deviates away from it. So to me, Lilo and Stitch, that trailer, I think people supporting it, cheering for it, sending a message. They are sending a message, and obviously the message, hopefully, it's being read and heard loud and clear. I mean, Disney's obviously hearing the loud and clear reactions, criticisms for Snow White, and they're obviously realizing, okay, we made a mistake, stupid idea, and I wouldn't be surprised if maybe they decide down the line to remake Snow White again, but this time stay true to what the original animated film was. I would not be surprised. But to me, it's sending a message. It is sending a message, stay true to the source material, or at least keep a very, very strong essence of it in your remake. Don't deviate from it, and also don't bring in somebody that has the mindset, that Rachel did, or has the mindset that the people that worked on Powerpuff did, the live-action remake of Powerpuff Girls, before it got canned, thank God. Don't have that mindset of you want to interpret them this way. No, you keep it true to the source material. End of discussion. And this is kind of crazy to say, but even animated, continuations or soft reboots of properties of the past even get, kind of go through this. Why do you think Masters of the Universe on Netflix, Revelation and Revolution, got the criticism it did? Because they didn't like what was going on. They had to correct course with the follow-up season. What was it? Revelation, or whatever it was called? Revolution? They had to kind of had to correct course in that second half. And why? Because they knew they screwed up. And also they allowed Kevin Smith to go out and say what he did, and just like Rachel Zellweger, what the people there at Netflix should have done, they should have kept Kevin Smith on a leash. Rachel Zellweger said what she did, Disney should have kept her on a leash right off the bat. They should have done a background check on her and said, nope, can't have her going out and saying things, can't have her promoting the film, let's keep her on a leash. They should have done that in the first place. But they didn't, and now they have to do damage control. Gal Gadot has to do damage control. And that's not right. So to me, again, in closing, when I see people cheering on for the Lilo and Stitch remake to succeed, it's because based on what they see in the trailer, they know that even though scene by scene, they know that even though scene by scene, line for line, it's not going to match up to the original animated film, they know it's still going to contain a strong essence. Even if it does deviate just a bit from the original film or the original story, they know it has a strong essence of the original. And that's all that matters to them. That's all that matters to them. But guys, let me know what your take is. Do you agree with me that people cheering on Lilo and Stitch's remake to succeed, live action remake to succeed, is a message being sent to Disney, Warner Brothers, and all these studios that have gone down this path, and have done it wrong? Let me know. I'd love to hear your take on it. And until next time, guys, you know what to do. You can find me at all the areas in the description. You can also find me at my Teespring store and everything. And guys, I do have a new video exclusively over on Patreon under the $3 and $5 tier. And guys, that's all I'm going to say for right now. But let me know what your take is. Let me know what your thoughts are. And until next time, I am out.